good day. This is Dr. Cortez. For the lesson today, Human Behavior in Organization, Lesson 2, Foundations of Individual Behavior. And I'm going to present the learning outcomes at the end of the topic. The students, you guys, should be able to do the following. So describe the role of personality in shaping workplace behavior. Explain how values and attitudes influence. Distinguish between job satisfaction and organization. Of course, the last topic is the importance of emotional intelligence in organization. So that is the learning outcomes, the objective, and here are the topics. We have 4 topics today: personality itself, personality traits, values, attitudes, job satisfaction, and organizational commitment, and of course, emotional intelligence. But before I proceed, my request, if you can subscribe to my channel, will be greatly appreciated. And thank you in advance. So for today, define muna natin. We have 2 broad topics for today: values and attitudes. This is the first topic. Values are, that is internal, that is unique for every person, every country, every region. Ito yung mga beliefs natin, mga internal, very deep inside us, our principles, almost fixed, cannot be changed right away, guiding you about the importance of values in life. So para sang values are broad, core beliefs or principles na ginagamit natin. Example, if you have honesty, that is your values. If you have fairness, that is your values. If you value family success, if you value personal success, that is your values. That is broad. Pag sinabi naman nating attitudes, medyo deep but not deeper compared to values. These are your feelings, opinions. Feelings can change, opinions can change. Tendencies can change. The tendencies to other person, idea or situation, that can always change. All the values can also change, pero hindi siya madalas, hindi sa agad-agad. Kasi ang attitude, there are yung mga pakiramdam isang araw in 1 week. Example, if you like teamwork, that is your feelings toward teamwork. You like teamwork, you don't like teamwork, that is your feelings. Example, you are skeptical about change. Example, sa may change na gagawin sa isang organization, computerization, change of leadership. So you have your attitude. Feelings positive about the company itself, your school. Those are your attitudes. Kasi ang attitude pwede siyang towards an idea. Example, change of leadership. Towards a person, example, your boss. Or towards situation, example, political situation. That is your attitude. So, it can change. Depende sa idea, depende sa person, depende sa situation. So, yun pinagkaiba ng values and attitude. Example, if someone values health, they may have a positive attitude toward exercise and healthy eating. So, mas broad ang values. Kasi if you want to be healthy, values. But what are your attitudes? Example, you want a healthy eating, you want to exercise. So, attitude na yon. So, attitudes are formed by your values. Values are deeper and more stable eh. Di basta nababagong values eh. Samantalang attitude, more specific, it can change more easily. Ang values napapalitan pero hindi siya agad-agad. Kasi stable ang values niya eh. No? Samantalang yung attitudes, pwede siyang mapalitan. Okay, so I hope that you have you may now compare the difference between values and attitudes in an organization or in a company later on. Ayan. Okay, so I'm going to move the slide. Ito naman yung mga personality natin, personality ninyo, tapos personality din ng mga subordinates ninyo or mga superior sa loob ng isang organization. So, overview of personality. Personality encompasses individual traits, influencing behaviors and thoughts in various contexts. Personality shapes interpersonal interaction and decision-making processes within your organization. Ang personality daw that is unique, that is set of characteristics niya. Ang personality, ito yung pag pinagsama-sama natin yung mga characteristics ninyo, your behavior, your thoughts, and feelings. That will make you different sa mga classmates. That will make you different from your office mates. Ayan. So, depends sa personality nyo, if how will you act, how will you react, and how you interact with the other person. Kasi ang inyong mga interaction and action toward other person, or your action itself, ay depende sa inyong mga personality. Ano mayroong personality meron nga. Now, so why we are talking about personality? Ano ba importance ng personality sa inyong mga work? No? Kasi later on, will be working. So, personality are important sa isang workplace. Sa personality, understanding personality fosters better communication towards your office mates, your boss, collaboration towards your teammates, collaboration towards your subordinates. No? That's why personality are important. Kasi if you have a personality, for example, that you are the silent type, if you are an introvert, it can affect your communication collaboration. Sometimes, pag you have a positive relationship, positive personality, example, extrovert, so it can enhance your job satisfaction, employee retention rates, significantly if you are the boss. Tapos you have this outgoing personality, you have a teamwork personality, you like teamwork, you are the democratic type of leader. It can enhance employee retention. They will stay, no? Pero pag yung personality binalik ka na, for example, you have an authoritarian personality. You don't like collaboration. So it can affect employee retention. They will leave the company. Diba? So, personal important in example, communication, teamwork, leadership. Diyan makikita ang personality mo eh. Sa communication, kita ang personality mo dyan. Sa teamwork, kita ang personality, leadership, problem solving, work environment, job performance. Kita dyan personality mo eh. That is why, personal are important sa job kasi you communicate, you lead, you solve problems. So magandang personality daw sa workplace, it can improve relationship towards your employees, teammates, subordinates, superior. It can also reduce conflict. Kasi example, if you are the type that you want to solve problem or you want to communicate right away, kung yung tipong pag may problema, ay gusto mo ikaw yung mag-initiate to solve the problem. That is your personality. If you have that personality, it can reduce conflict, help the organization succeed, reduce conflict, collaborate. May mga tao kasi extreme. May mga office mates ka na introvert or extrovert. May mga boss ka na autocratic or authoritarian. May mga boss ka namang democratic or collaborative. May mga boss kang delegative, nagde-delegate ng mga work. May mga boss naman inaako lahat. Sa isang organization yan. Now, may mga co-workers naman or co-employees ka naman, different personality. May mga employees na sinusolo yung trabaho. No? May mga employees naman na they like collaboration. May mga co-employees na they accept suggestions na democratic or participative type of employees. No? May mga employees naman na non-participative. They don't want to participate. They don't want others to participate. So, the effect, it can enhance productivity, retention, reduce conflict. In contrast, pwede mo dagdagan. Ha? Example, they don't want collaboration. So, yung productivity nababawasan. Pag palaaway yung mga co-employees mo, it can increase conflict. So that is how important why we are talking about personality sa isang workplace. Later on, if you are working, different types of employees, different types of boss, maranasan mo yan. No? May mga boss nang babato ng stapler. If I can recall last time, many years ago, maybe 20 years ago, I was applying in a job as an accountant. Sabi nung interviewer, the HR person, sir, are you willing to work with a boss? Oh, are you willing to work with a boss lawyer na nambabato? Sabi ko, teka lang. Personality ng ganon, it can increase conflict. So, hindi na ako bumalik kinabukasan. Mga extreme. When I was in college, meron akong bisor kasi I was working with Wendy's in college. No? May bisor akong nambabato ng burger. Pag mali yung pagluto mo ng burger, ibabato sa'yo. That is his personality. So, iniwasan. Iniwasan siya. No? In contrast, pag ikaw ay isang boss na yung meron siya, you are polite, you are democratic, you are participative type of leader or supervisor, you'll be loved by your employees, subordinates. So, collaboration yan, productivity. Sa pagtrabaho sa isang job na yung boss mabait, yung gusto mong pumasok araw-araw kasi yung boss mabait, it increases productivity. Pag binaliktad natin yan, masungit yung boss, masungit yung bisor, para kayo pumasok. So, absent ka ng absent, hindi ka makakompleto ng isang linggo. So, it affects your productivity. Okay, so, I'm moving this one. I'm moving the slide. The next one. Different personality theories. So, usapan naman natin dito yung mga personality theories na pwede nating gamitin sa mga organization. I have here the big 5 personality traits. No? Ibig sabihin nito, later on, we're going to discuss yung 5 klase ng mga theories sa isang organization na bakit sila ay ginagamit natin. The big 5 model identifies openness. Ito yung 5, no? Openness, conscientiousness, extraversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism as key traits. No? Ito yung mga 5 pangunahing o mga famous theory pagdating sa personality. These traits kasi, they predict job performance sa mga empleyado ninyo, or they can predict your performance sa isang organization. We're going to discuss this on the next slide. Itong 5 to. We're going to discuss this in details. Then meron naman tayo the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. MBTI means Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. Categorizes personalities into 16 types, assisting in understanding behavior at work, utilization in team building. So ito yung mga famous theory. Merong MBTI sa may MBTI sa online. If you want to check your personality, what type of personality you have. Kasi may 16 type of personality na pwede kang magkaroon. Sample, ikaw ba ay mga under MBTI under MBTI theory. So check natin. So under MBTI theory, it has 16 types. So pag pumunta ka sa website ng MBTI, mati-check mo doon kung anong klaseng personality meron ka. Sample, ikaw ba yung mga personality na mayroong sensing, intuition, thinking, feeling? Ikaw ba yung mayroong personality na extroversion, introversion? Ikaw ba yung may personality judging or perceiving? No? Malalaman nyo, pag sumagot ka doon sa questionnaire sa MBTI, malalaman anong klaseng personality meron ka. Okay, so the 16 types of personality MBTI. Ang dami, no? Dahil palang klase ng personality. Kasi pwede natin paghaluin, example. Under MBTI, merong 4 na klaseng personality meron ka. Ito ba ikaw ay introverted, sensing, thinking, and judging? Itong 4 na to, pwedeng meron kang 3, wala yung isa. Or pwedeng pagbalik-balik ta rin mo yan. Kung alin mauuna. Ikaw ba pinakasikat ba sa ikaw ba extrovert? Pinakasikat ba sa iyo or obvious ba sa iyo or the judgmental, no? Or ikaw ba yung personality na very obvious sa iyo? Ikaw ba yung thinking personality, nag-iisip bago gumawa? Or mas obvious ba sa yung personality na you are intuition, yung bang instinct, no? Yung paggagawa ng isang bagay ay you're not thinking, you're just based on your instinct. May mga tao namang extrovert. So saan dyan, no? So pwedeng halo-halo yan, depende sa result ng isang questionnaire dun sa MBTI. Okay, so may ibang pa ang theory, the hexaco theory. Tayo natin what is the hexaco theory ng ating mga personality. The hexaco model adds honesty, humility to the personality framework. So yung hexaco, ito naman yung mayroon kang honesty. So hexaco is the acronym, no? H is, do you have honesty? E is, do you have emotional? Emotional ka ba? X, ikaw ba ay extraversion, yung outgoing person ka? Letter A is agreeableness. Letter C, conscientiousness. Letter O, openness. So ito yung nagdagan natin, no? Ng honesty, emotionally. Kasi yung pinaka-popular na mga personality ay yung openness, conscientiousness, extraversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. Ngayon, pag dinagdagan natin ng dalawa to, honesty and emotional, magiging hexaco. So once again, hexaco stands for honesty, emotional, extraversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, and openness. So, alin personality meron yung isang individual? So, Anong gamit ng Hexaco model sa ating organization? So, after adding honesty and humility to the personality framework, it influences ethical behavior sa loob ng isang organization. Pag meron ka nito, example, you understand these theories, it can improve organizational culture and reduce turnover. Yung pag-alis ba ng example, you are the boss, no? Then you have this emotional quotient. It means you know how does your an employee feel. Parang empathy, no? You feel what they feel, emotional. If you feel what they feel, parang you can solve their problems emotionally. Same level kayo, no? It can reduce turnover. Naintindihan mo siya kung bakit nagkakaganon siya. Hindi na siya alis, no? So it can reduce turnover sa loob ng isang company or isang organization. Yan, yun ang gamit ng ng Hexaco after adding emotional. So, sa isang company pala, isang organization, you need honesty rin and emotional in handling people. So, ito yung framework, no? These are the key personality traits in organization. Ito yung madalas na meron. Mga klase ng personality na meron yung inyong mga empleyado. The first one, extraversion. Extroverted individuals, ito yung mga outside, external. Extroverted individuals often excel in teamwork and leadership roles within organizations. They are typically more engaging daw and open in collaborative environments. Mga empleyado or pag sa school, no, may mga classmates ka na extrovert. Ito mga taong outspoken, magaling sa interpersonal relationship. Sila yung nagiging leader sa isang klase. Sila yung madalas na nagtataas ng kamay, no? Mga recitation. May dalawang klaseng estudyante, di ba? Yung madalas magtaas ng kamay, mga hindi nahihiya, mga extrovert. Sa kami ng taong may alam naman, pero hindi nagtataas ng kamay. Sa mga introvert, no? Now, in another organization, ganun din. May mga employees na extrovert, outspoken. They like teamwork, they like collaboration. Gusto na yung mga sila yung center of attraction, sila yung lead. Nagli-lead palagi, no? May mga empleyado naman na introvert. Yung nasa background lang sila. Yung follower lang sila. They have the idea but they keep the ideas within themselves. Hindi nila pinapalabas. Pag di sila tinanong ng boss, hindi sila nagsasalita. So you check yourselves, no? Sang personality meron ka? Extrovert ka ba? Or introvert? Okay. The second one, we have the emotional stability. Employees that have emotional stability. Emotionally stable individuals manage stress effectively, leading to better workplace performance. They contribute to resilient and adaptive organizational culture. May mga office mates na mabilis masiraan ng loob. May mga office mates na mabilis ma-stress. Balik na rin natin. May mga office mates na hindi sila mabilis ma-stress. Matagal silang mapanghinaan ng loob. Stable. Yung under pressure, no? You will admit this, no? Mayroon sa inyong nararattle under pressure. Pag pressure pack na yung situation, hindi ka na makapag-isip. Example, sa loob ng isang organization, may deadline. Ang deadline mamayang 3:00 ng hapon. And you're doing your task today. You're doing an Excel. A Microsoft Excel file. Nag-encode ka. 3:00. It is now 1:30. Tapos nararattle ka, no? Ang nagagalit ka na pag may nag-istorbo sa'yo. Kinakabahan ka. Yung bang, that is under pressure. No? So may training sa ganun, no? Yung how do you behave under pressure. Now, may mga Ano naman na hindi kinakabahan. Tulad sa inyo, pag estudyante ka, di ba? Pag may exam, may kinakabahan, may pressure, meron namang relax lang. For example ako, pag mga exam, relax lang ako no? Iba naman kinakabahan. So, which one are you in? Ikaw ba yung mahinang emotional stability? Are you the one who is emotionally unstable? Or are you the one who is emotionally stable? The number three traits, isang organization, the agreeableness. High agreeableness fosters cooperation, trust, and teamwork among colleagues. Ito yung you always cooperate. Yan. You trust somebody. You do teamwork among your colleagues. Ito yung mga individual na you contribute positively sa organization para, kumbaga, secondary na lang yung personal interest. What is important is the interest of the group. So parang for the benefit of the group. Sige na nga, saka na yung aking personal interest. Kahit wala na akong masyadong kahit hindi masyadong magbe-benefit, basta magbe-benefit yung group. You agree, no? You agree right away sa mga sinasabi ng boss, ng company. You follow. You're a good follower, no? You always follow. You trust the process. You contribute positively. Ikaw yung madalas nag-cooperate. You always cooperate sa yung organization to promote harmony. Parang wala masyadong conflict, no? Conflict resolution, sige. I will sacrifice myself para harmonious ang ating turnover, yung ating gagawin. Secondary na yung aking personal benefit. What is important? Mag-profit tayo. Sample, team building, no? Team building. Tapos yung lugar hindi mo gusto. Kasi yung lugar ay medyo malayo, no? Tabi dagat, in an island. Ikaw hindi ka masyadong island hopper. Hindi ka masyadong you're not a nature lover. Gusto mo yung sa hotel lang, concrete jungle. But for the benefit of the group, harmonious relation, harmonious team building. Sige, go ako dyan, sama ako. Although hindi mo gusto. What is important is not your personal interest, but the group interest. Kasi team building tayo, no? Diba kasi sa isang company, diba pag may mga outing, magpapa-vote yung HR. Sinong gustong sumama. Ayan. Ako sumasama ko palagi, no? Sa mga ganon. Meron namang hindi sumasama. Ang reason nila, ay, malayo. Ay, hindi ako mag-enjoy dyan. May iba namang sumasama lang kahit they admit that they will not benefit, they admit that they will not enjoy, but for the harmony of the group, sige, go. Sama tayo dyan. Ayan. So, which one are you in? May agreeableness ka ba? Or wala? Okay, the next one, the conscientiousness. Pronounce yung nga mabilis. Conscientiousness. Conscientiousness employees show high levels of diligence. Diligence kayo bang matiisin, no? You are reliable. You are goal-oriented. Their traits correlate positively with high performance and organizational commitment. Okay, so which one? Do you have this one? Ikaw ba'y reliable? Okay. Ito yung isang employee ka or you're the student. Ito yung you are awake. You're aware of yourself. Kaya nga, conscious ka sa sarili. You're aware of yourself, aware of your personality, aware of your thoughts, your feelings, your surroundings. Yan, no? Sinasabi natin, conscientiousness ng mga person. So, ganito ka ba? Goal-oriented. You correlate positively, your traits correlate positively with high performance. Ikaw ba stay awake? Or you are dreaming? Or you are alerted ng ng iyong surroundings. Pag ganun kasi, ano yun eh, you are conscious eh. Example, thoughts of feelings and perceptions you are aware of right now. Meron mang you are not aware, you are aware of not of what is happening. You are not aware of the surroundings. Ayan, so which one? Baka nagde-daydreaming ka lang eh, no? So anong pwedeng gawin pa ikaw ay if you can promote conscientiousness, self-awareness, anong pwedeng gawin? Di pwede ka meditation, yung punta sa isang lugar na tahimik sa bundok, no? O pwedeng sa isang lugar lang eh. May mga I have seen in YouTube, may mga session, may mga classes about Zen, parang nagme-meditate sila. Simple hypnosis. Yan, intoxication. Mga pwedeng gawin mo sa yan eh, sa hindi intoxication intoxication ang sinasabi natin to promote yung awareness nyo. Ayan, para ma-alter yung inyong awareness, you can meditate. Yan. Yan ang pwede mong gawin. You are aware of surrounding. Yung bang pag meron kang gagawin, it is always not important yung personality. You check yung mga nasa palibot mo. You are sensitive about your surroundings, no? Example, may kausap sa telephone, may tumawag sa outside call, tapos ang lakas ng boses mo, nasa loob ka ng isang nasa loob ka ng office. O na-istorbo mo yung mga co-office mates mo. Sana pwedeng gawin, iba lumalabas ng room para kausapin yung tumatawag mo. Sa ibang country, alam nyo ba? Sa ibang country, para pag mayroon kang personal call, tapos hindi ka maka-istorbo, kung sasagutin mo yung call, sa ibang countries, ibang companies abroad, meron silang mga glass cubicle, enclosed glass cubicle. Kapag meron kang call, pasok ka lang sa cubicle na yon, parang 1 meter by 1 meter yung laki ng cubicle, doon ka sa loob para sagutin isang outside calls, walang istorbo. Malit lang siya, malit lang space ang malit lang na space yung kanyang kailangan, parang telephone booth lang na transparent, gano'n. So pag nasa loob ka nun, kahit magsigawan ka ng kausap mo doon, hindi ka maka-istorbo. Okay na? The 4 frameworks of personality traits in an organization. Okay, so moving on with my slide. Impact of personality on workplace dynamics. Bakit kailangan ng personality? Team dynamics. Personality diversity enhances team creativity and problem-solving capacities. Improve dynamics often result in innovation. Pag sinabing dynamics, yung parang pwedeng magbago. Madaling magbago. You can increase, you can decrease, pwedeng dumiit, pwedeng lumapad, pwedeng dumami, pwedeng konti. Ito yung force na can cause change. Pag dynamics, magbabago. Causing change, movement, or interaction. Parang siya, pwedeng pabago-bago yung team dynamics. So, anong impact ng personality? Pag may personality na diverse, iba-ibang personality meron sa loob ng isang organization. Anong klaseng personality? Extrovert personality, introvert, may agreeableness na personality. May personality conscientiousness, may open, may awareness. Ayan, di ba? May mga creative, iba-ibang personality, may creative, may participative. Yung bang iba-iba kayo, iba-ibang background. Diversity. Pag ano yung mayroon sa isang company, ang ganda ng team dynamics, hindi lang isang movement, kasi ang daming suggestions. So, ang daming pwedeng pagbabagong pwedeng mangyari. Napaka-creative nila eh. So, ang daming pwedeng mangyari doon. Sa isang team activity, ang daming mga pwedeng mag-solve ng problem kasi ang dami nyo, iba-ibang personality. Di ba? That is one reason ng personality. Another one, leadership styles. Leaders' personality traits influence their management approach and employee motivation. Ang mga sikat, the three famous type of leadership. Dati to, no? Tatlo lang eh. Autocratic, leadership, democratic, tapos laissez-faire. Siyempre, pag sinabing democratic, yung leader accept changes. So pag yung isang boss ay iba-ibang personality, it can affect the leadership style sa isang organization. Pag yung isang person, if one person is democratic, so kanyang leadership, ganun. If one person has this autocratic type of personality, autocratic leadership, meron siya. Ngayon, iba-iba ng mga leadership style meron ngayon. Example, meron ng mga employees, mga individual, may mga persons na ngayon na delegative, yung bang they like to delegate. Sa kanyang leadership style, delegative leadership, he delegates ng mga task na. May mga person na visionary. Nakikita nila yung future ahead, 10 years from now. Sa anong style meron sila? Mga visionary type ng leadership. May mga leaders na coaching style ng leadership. May mga leaders na micro leadership. Pag sa micro, yung talagang ginaguide ka specific, no, nakatutok sa'yo. Parang walang tiwala sa'yo. Yun, so depende kung anong personality meron isang tao. Pag ako isang taong, example ako, no, I'm the participative type of leader. I want the members to participate. Kaya nga sa mga klase, sa mga groupings sa school, tinatanong ko, no, lahat ng members should participate. Pag may isang member na hindi nagpa-participate, he can be removed by the leader. Kasi participative style ang aking personality. So, nadadala yan sa leadership style. Naging participative type of leader. The opposite is the non-participative. Pag ang personality mo ay don't want somebody to participate, gusto mong solo lang, ang style mo non-participative style of leadership. But if you delegate, yung bang may tiwala ka sa mga members mo, you have this personality na delegative ka, nag-delegate. So ang style mo ng leadership na pwedeng gawin, the delegative leadership styles. Ayan, no? So ang daming klase ng leadership, depende sa personality ng isang employee. Yung impact ng personality, no? Yung team dynamics gumaganda, yung style affected. Another one, the performance of the employee can be affected by the personality. So personality traits significantly correlate with performance levels and job satisfaction. Ibig sabihin na itong per sentence, no? Yung iyong personality ay may relation sa iyong performance and job satisfaction. Organizations can enhance productivity by aligning roles with individual personality strength. Depende sa personality kung saan ka i-assign. Kasi minsan may mga task or work sa isang company na hindi align sa iyong personality. Example, your personality, you are an extrovert person. Extroversion. You love the outdoors, you love talking to people. Diba? So, that is your personality and you will be assigned sa isang role. So, sige, assign kita sa spokesperson of the company. Yan. Diyan ka bagay, you want to talk to people. O pag nandiyan ka, yung performance mo gumaganda. And you are satisfied with the job. Pag binaliktad yan, ikaw ay outgoing person, you love the outdoors, you love talking to people, you love field work. Tapos inassign ka encoder. You know what is an encoder, di ba? Maghapon, nag-encode lang yan, 8 to 5. Sa ang kaharap, computer. Pag ikaw ay yung taong extrovert, nako, tatamarin ka. Boring. Ang performance level mo bababa. Sabi mo, ayoko pumasok muna. Nakatamad, abawa na yung work eh. So, hindi ka na satisfied sa job. So, if you are the boss, you assign your employees depending on their personality. Example, yung mga introvert person, yung mga hindi masyadong mahilig maglalabas, o ilagay mo sa audit department, encoder, Yung mga tao naman na ang personally mahilig mag-research, o ilagay mo sa sa research department. Yung mga taong ang personally gustong may kinakalikot, 'di ba? Magkalikot ng computer, hardware, software, o ilagay mo sa IT department. No? So hopefully their performance and job satisfaction will increase. Okay, so the impact. So let's move sa ating slide. No? The next one is the values. This is the second topic. Sana importance ng values sa organization. Importance of attitudes and values sa isang organization. The values shape organizational identity and influence decision-making processes significantly. Yung isang organization, for example, meron isang values na, okay, ang values namin dito sa amin this one, we love collaboration. We love innovation. Innovative company kami. We like employees giving suggestions. So we give employees to participate in process. We let them suggest innovative products to their organization. Yan ang value ng company. Yung bang may collaboration sila. So what is the importance of that? Example, if may mga collaboration sa isang company o positive workplace environment, yung ba ikaw ay binibigyan ng chance mag-suggest. Meron kang bosses sa loob ng isang company. So parang you want to work mo. You want always to go to work pag ganun yung situation. Sarap pumasok, no? Pag ganun. Yung may na-accept, parang they make you feel that you belong to the company, to the environment by accepting or giving your chances to participate sa mga organizational innovation. Yung bang inuuna mga empleyado, that is value, no? Employee first is the value. Pag may products na gustong i-launch, empleyado muna unang makakaalam or magsasuggest. Employee magbe-benefit. Okay? So, that is internal marketing. No? Before selling your product outside, dapat may orientation for employees about the new product, the benefit of the new product sa company, and dapat alam nila yung bagong product na binibenta. So, employee first policy. There is a culture, no? Ang culture iba-iba. Bawat company, iba-ibang culture, no? Sabi sa isang school ko, no, ang culture doon, pag may birthday, ikaw yung maghahanda ng food. Yan ang kultura nila, ikaw maghahanda, no? Paglipat ko sa isang company, yung culture na iba. Ang culture naman nila doon, kung ikaw ang may birthday, baliktad. Siya lang maghahanda para sa ikaw ang iti-treat nila. Ang magandang culture na collaboration. Okay, the second one, examples of core values. Values, sample, no? Integrity. Integrity ng isang individual. So, ang integrity, hindi sa basta-basta natatanggal. From the beginning, starting from your childhood hanggang adulthood, yung integrity mo nandiyan dyan. So, parang naka-attach sa'yo. Hindi sa pag naumpisa mong merong integrity, parang the whole time hanggang adulthood, meron kang integrity. The same thing pag teamwork, no? Core values, pag ikaw ay nakilalang meron kang teamwork sa loob ng company, lalapitan ka. No? Hindi sa umpisa, that first impression mo, meron kang teamwork. So right away, hanggang katapusan, yan tingin nila sa'yo. The same thing if you are willing, you give premium to excellence, yung bang hindi ayaw mo nung pwede na. Ang gusto mo yung talagang perfect, not perfect, almost perfect. Ibig sabihin, hindi yung mga mediocre na mga products. Hindi bara-barang trabaho. Yung values, nakilala ka dyan. Not perfectionist, but almost perfectionist. Ito mga core values na yan, they are guiding employee behavior and company policy. So, broad ang values, di ba? Pag ang values natin ay integrity, ganon. So, ang empleyado, they will be guided by that integrity. Na isang empleyado, sabi ng company, ang value natin integrity ha, sa lahat ng gagawin natin integrity. That values can guide yung mga empleyado to act and to relate with integrity sa customers, sa mga co-employees. No? So pag may integrity, sige, hindi ka tatanggap ng suhol, hindi ka tatanggap ng bribe. Merong integrity gano'n. Kasi you're guided by the values of the company. Values ng company, nakita ko sa isang bangko to. Customer first. Ang kanyang value. Your behavior can be affected by this one. Employee first, no? Pag break time, at may magpapa-process, yung lunch mo, tinitigil mo, no? unahin mo yung client or customers. Role in employee behavior ng attitudes. Attitudes affect motivation and engagement levels among employees within the organization. Positive attitudes can enhance productivity and job satisfaction. Ano ba yung mga positive attitudes, no? na meron ka sa loob ng isang organization or company? Kasi positive attitudes can enhance productivity and job satisfaction. Sana mga positive attitudes ang meron ka? Example, you're optimistic. Optimistic ka, yung bang iniisip mong kahit anong mangyari, itong product na to, itong ginagawa ko ay meron itong magandang result. That is positive. It can enhance job productivity. Okay? So, ano pa mga sample ng positive attitudes na meron ka? Sige nga, I will give you time to think, although hindi ko naririnig. But you can think of positive attitudes na pwede nating gamitin. Na pwede natin pahinabangan, no, sa ating mga organization. I mentioned one, optimism is a positive attitudes. Diba? Ano pa? Confidence, positive. If you are confident sa iyong ginagawa. Respect, you cooperate with your co-employees. Positive yan eh. Resistance, pag sinosolve kang problem, tapos hirap na hirap ka, pero sana ayaw mong tigilan, di ba? Hanggang ma-solve mo yung problems. Yan, mga positive, open-minded ka ba? Responsible employees ka, responsible co-member. Do you respect other person? Example, respecting space, respecting opinions sa mga co-employees. Meron ka ba? Meron ka bang gano'n? Mga positive attitude, no? Na meron ka na pwedeng gamitin sa loob ng isang organization. So pag may mga positive na nakakatulong sa productivity and satisfaction, may mga sample din ng mga negative na mga attitudes. Di ba? Sa isang organization, ano mga sample ng mga negative attitudes? Yung bang rudeness. Rude ka sa mga pakisama sa customers, masungit. Masungit ka. So negative negative attitude, narrow-minded ka, makitid ang isip. Mga negative attitude, pessimism, yung bang hindi mo nakikita ang maganda, di ba, pag optimistic, nakikita mo yung maganda no? Pag pessimistic, hindi mo nakikita. So pessimism is negative attitude. Okay, so impact on workplace dynamics ng isang employee na merong magandang attitude. So employee attitudes influence collaboration. Example, pag ikaw yung mga empleyado ka na may open-minded o talagang masarap makipag-collaborate sa'yo. Pag ikaw yung employee na persistent. Persistence is positive attitude. Pag ikaw yung simple na persistence, example, may conflict sa loob ng isang company. Tapos, yung iba suko na. Sabi ng iba, wag na, talagang hindi na natin mapapagbati yung dalawang yan. Umpisa pa lang, matagal na magkaawa yan, Di na wala ng pag-asa. Ikaw naman, you're the person who has persistence. Persistent ka, ayaw mong tigilan hanggat hindi nasusolve yung problem. Sabi mo, kaya pa yan. Hindi sinubukan mo ulit. Hindi mo tinigilan hanggang hindi mo napagbati yung dalawa. Persistence Hindi na-solve yung conflict. Di ba? May nangyaring conflict resolution doon sa ginawa mo. Yan. So may impact mga ganang klaseng sa dynamics. Ay, pabaliktara na kung ano yung taong hostile. Yung bang madalas magalit, magagalitin, walang pakisama, hostile. Walang workplace dynamics yan. Ikaw yung taong rude, di ba? Or may prejudgmental ka. Ginadjust mo kagad yung isang employee. Prejudgmental. That is negative. At ginagawa mo yan, you're prejudging isang co-employee. Mahina siguro to. Hindi nito kaya yung aking papagawa. Wag na. Hindi na tayo bibigyan ng task. Masyadong nabawasan. Collaboration. Diba? Or pag meron kang rudeness, masungit ka, ay magpag-usap nila sa'yo. So anong nabawasan? Yung communication. Or pag rude ka, may conflict, baliktad. Instead of conflict resolution, pag ko ay masungit, hostile, ano nangyari? Conflict escalation, baliktad, conflict escalation, tumaas pa yung conflict. Pag may rudeness and negative attitude sa loob ng isang organization. Okay guys, so that's a good one, good topic. Sa alignment of values and attitudes natin, consequence of misaligning between values and attitude. So, ang target natin guys, sa isang organization, yung align yung values tapos attitude. Take note, yung attitude is shaped by values. Kung anong values meron sa isang organization, yung attitude mo towards people, towards person, ideas, towards situation, towards a task, dapat naka-align dun sa values. At ang values ng isang organization, nakalagay din sa nakalagay dun sa mission, vision ng isang organization. Di ba isang company merong values na ginagawa? Example, dito sa atin, sa BMC, ano yung values natin sa BMC? Di ba naka-spell out siya? Letter V, M, tapos C. Yan ang values natin Diba? Example, values, integrity. Malawak yan. Values, respect to the environment. Values, customer first. Ano bang values? Leave no one behind. Walang maiwan. Yan. Diba? Or customer first. Employee. Yan. Walang profit na binanggit. Walang profit. Customer satisfaction is paramount. Always put premium on customer satisfaction. That is values. Now, lahat ng inyong mga attitude ay naka-anchor, naka-align doon sa values na yan. Lahat yung gagawin ay naka-align, naka-tangent doon sa values. Example, customer satisfaction, values, no? So, lahat ay dapat gawin ng mga empleyado. So, pag kumakausap ng isang customer sa telephone or sa email, dapat satisfied sila. Our values is integrity. Lahat ng gagawin mo, integrity. Integrity is the values. Pag nagbigay sa'yo ng bribe, hindi mo tatanggapin. That is your attitude. Dapat aligned. Pag ang values, integrity, di ba? Tapos tumatanggap pa ng bribe, so conflict. Ang values, customer management. Yan ang values. May ikaw, nakipag-away ka sa customer. So, hindi na siya aligned. Misalignment, no? Yung nangyari. Now, if you are the boss, how are you going to make some strategy para may alignment yung values and attitudes ng iyong mga empleyado? Strategies include, example, clear communication. Dapat alam ng mga empleyado bago man o luma. Pag lumang empleyado o employees, you reiterate. Always reiterate. Mga meeting, you always mention the values of the company. O sa isang university, bawat flag ceremony, inuulit-ulit yung values, no? So kahit mga lumang old-timer na mga empleyado, they are reminded. O pag bago naman, siyempre sa orientation pa lang, di ba, sinasabi niya yung values. So both values are communicated. In both situations, values are communicated. Ano pa? Constant training programs. Meeting. You start your meeting, you started program with the mission, vision, values of the company. Or you involve the employees in setting or crafting or discussing or brainstorming of the values of the company. Hindi yung sila ay tatanggap na ng value. This should be part in forming the values of the company. Talagang di-discuss, brainstorming talagang they embrace the crafting of the values of the company. Example, yung values ng organization ay yung acronym ng iyong pangalan. Example, your name is Shirley. Tapos sabi sa program, sige, gawa kayo ng values na ini-spell out yung pangalan ninyo. Di ba Shirley pangalan, di ba? Ano yung letter S? Sharing. O sa company may values sa sharing. Ano yung letter H naman? Honing. O di ba ganon? So parang you were given the chance to draft yung values para sa company. So pag nagawa yan, talagang you will embrace. Pangalan mo yun. We're going to move the slide here. Measuring values and attitudes. So, paano natin malalaman yung values ng ating mga empleyado? Kaya sabi ko kanina, yung sa MBTI, kanang sinasabi ko, if you want to know your personality, may mga online. May mga online na pwede mong gamitin. Measuring values and attitudes, surveys and assessment. Employee survey, yan. Maraming questionnaires, ginagagawin ng HR. HR normally are composed of psychology graduates ng mga person. So they know how to craft questionnaires to know the values and personality and attitudes ng kanilang mga empleyado. So that should be regular, no? Pag sa regular, wag naman bawat taon. You can do this survey every 6 months. Survey and assessment ng mga empleyado. Every 6 months. Kasi pag bawat taon, masyadong matagal, every year ang assessment. Nagbabago yung attitudes So in 6 months, pwede magbago yung attitude. na may empleyado. So, ang survey or assessment can be done 6 months. After the survey, you will now analyze the result. Data analysis reveals trends and gaps in values and attitudes within the organization. So, pag pinagsama-sama natin lahat ng mga sagot, tapos ang iyong ginagamit ay Likert scale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Example, question number 1. What is your attitude towards digitalization of office procedure? So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 5, highly satisfied, di ba? Tapos yung pinakababa, number 1, not satisfied. So malalaman mo yung attitude. Attitude ng mga empleyado towards this digitalization. Sa nanalo, 4. Yan, average 4. Moderately satisfied. Yan. Okay, yan ang analyzing the trends, the gaps. Then you will ask them, yung mga sumagot ng not satisfied, you will ask them, anong mga reason bakit you're not satisfied with the digitalization process of office procedure ng ating company? You will get your insights, di ba? Dun sa mga employees na tinatanong. Now, after analyzing the result, what is important is your CTA, call to action. Yung result, hindi lang sa basta result kasi walang kwenta kung you know the result but you're not doing something. Ito meron kang gagawin na call to action. Nakita mo, di ba? Moderately satisfied ang sagot. Ang target mo dito, 5 5 is the highest, that is highly satisfied. Ang result, moderate lang, moderately satisfied. So, anong gagawin mo para mas satisfied sila doon sa mga digitalization? Kasi attitudes toward digitalization, that is change no? Bakit ayaw nila ng hindi sila satisfied? Maraming reason bakit hindi sila satisfied sa digitalization. And you will create mitigation paano. Example, so that they will appreciate digitalization, make them part of the digitalization. Tell them the benefit of digitalization. Make them embrace. Tell them how are they going to be affected by digitalization. Para pag nagpa-survey ka ulit after 6 months, ang result 5 na. Job satisfaction and organizational commitment. Definition of job satisfaction. Job satisfaction refers to the emotional response employees have toward their work. Emotional, hindi sa physical, hindi nakikita. Yung satisfaction sa gawa, that is internal. It encompasses various facets of the job experience. O emotional lang ang response ng mga empleyado. So wag ka magtaka bakit hindi nakikita sa gawa. Yung pala, job satisfaction are internal. The importance of job satisfaction sa isang job, sa isang work, this is a given. Pag satisfied, obviously, gagawa sila ng maganda para sa company, di ba? Because high job satisfaction leads to increased employee motivated and productivity. Pag satisfied ka sa work mo, motivated kang pumasok ang dami mong natatapos kasi gusto mo yung work at maraming reason bakit satisfied. Ang job satisfaction, sige, job satisfaction can be increased by salary. Di ba? Compensation, satisfied. Pero hindi lang salary yung nagpapasatisfy sa kanila. It can be growth in the company, job security, professional growth within the organization, good work environment. Nagpapasatisfy sa kanila No, pag sa ganun sila, demotivated silang pumasok. Pasok na ako, di ba? Minsan, may mga instances na if you're not satisfied with your work, ang pangit ang work environment. Alas 5 pa lang, umuwi ka na. di ba? Pero pag gustong-gusto mo yung work, naku, ang aga mong pumasok, tapos umuwi ka, alas 8 ng gabi. You're motivated to stay in the company, di ba? Pag motivated ka to stay, nag-overtime ka, so ang dami nagagawa. Productivity. Assuming na pag nag-overtime ka, ginagawa mo trabaho mo, di ba? Kasi minsan nag-overtime sila, nagkwentuhan lang. So pag overtime, maraming natatapos dapat. So productivity, more output. It positively affects overall organizational performance and morale. Marami na mga study na yung relation job performance sa productivity, sa profitability ng isang company. Marami ng research studies or paper na ginawa. So it is really given na may positive impact ang isang job satisfied na mga workers or empleyado. Commitment, importance of organizational commitment. Strong commitment reduces turnover and improves employee retention rates. Pag sinabi nating turnover, ito yung pagpalit ng mga empleyado sa loob ng isang company. Pag mataas ang turnover, high turnover, sabihin every 6 months. Every 6 months, may nagre-resign sila. Sabi mataas ang turnover. Every 6 months, every 3 months, nagpapalit, di ba? Mataas. Now, pag sinabi nating low turnover rate, hindi madalas nagpapalit ng mga empleyado. Example, on the average, employees stay in an organization sa loob ng 2 taon. Yan, 2 taon. So, pag employed ka, stay ka 2 taon. So, pag 2 taon ang palitan, ibig sabihin, on the average, employees leave the company after 2 years. Ano yan? Mababang turnover yan, which is good. Mababang turnover, maganda para sa company. So, bakit maganda? Pagpapalit-palit ng empleyado, pagtitrain ka ulit ng bago, gastos. Pag bago yung empleyado, yung kanang productivity mababa pa. Mag-i-improve ka ng productivity ng isang bagong empleyado after 3 months pa. So, bawas sa profit. Kunti lang nagagawa niya eh. So, hindi maganda pag papalit-palit ng empleyado. Walang continuity. Dapat 2 years no? The same thing, pag yung manager ay palaging pinapalitan, so wala rin continuity, pangit din. Definition of organizational commitment. So maraming reason bakit magko-commit ka sa isang company. Hindi palaging pera. May pinasukan ako dati na company. I stayed for 7 years doon sa company yon. Hindi pera yung dahilan eh. Hindi salary. I committed myself to the company for 7 years. Ang sahod hindi masyadong mataas. Pero gusto ko yung work, kabisado ko yung work. Maganda naman yung samahan doon sa company. So I stayed. So maraming reason bakit committed ka sa isang company. Factors influencing job satisfaction. Okay. Ang application nito guys, ito yung mga factors na masasatisfied yung mga empleyado ninyo. Na pwede nyo gawin ba ikaw na yung boss? O pwede nyo hanapin sa mga boss mo, itong mga to, para merong job satisfaction na pwedeng mangyari. The first one is employee recognition. Hindi pera, no? Ito pala, pag you recognize the employee efforts, it boosts their morale and job satisfaction significantly mataas. Regular acknowledgement. Pag sinabing regular acknowledgement, hindi ito taon-taon na bawat anniversary para magre-recognize ng employee. Kasi you can recognize employee kahit hindi anniversary ng company. Okay, sige. Most companies recognize their employees pag anniversary, may plaque of appreciation, may certificate, may prize reward. May mga rewards na binibigay. Kaya lang taunan. But in fact, you can recognize employee pagkatapos ng kanyang trabaho, oy, good job ah. Bang simple, hindi mo binibigyan ng pera, but oral recognition. Oy, ang galing ah, keep up the good work. A simple tap at the back. A simple shake hands. Ang galing. Gusto ko yung ginawa mo. Yan. Kung pinupuri mo siya kahit anong oras, yan, pamboost ng moral yan. When I was with Wendy's Hamburger, no, many years ago, I was a crew. Sa Wendy's dati, may monthly meeting, then every month, nagmi-meeting, nagpapa-meeting manager, tapos may ina-award ng employee of the month. Bawat buwan, may employee of the month. Yan. Sabi ko, tina-target ko yun, dapat sana maging employee of the month din ako. Kaya target ko yun para magtrabaho na maganda eh. Para dun sa Wendy's. Kaya hindi ko nakuha eh. Kasi pag employee of the month ka, siyempre, ano yan, bragging rights mo, di ba? Tapos meron kang gift check worth 100 pesos. Tapos, meron kang yung mukha mo nakalagay dun sa counter. So, nakikita ng mga customers sa mukha mo. Employee of the month. Work-life balance, no? So, recognize sila ha. Then, next one, para masatisfied, work-life balance. Hindi palaging trabaho, guys, no? Stress could kill. Nakakamatay yung work. Nakakamatay yung trabaho. So, dapat balance. Ito yung uso ngayon. Dati kasi walang ganito eh, no? But now, dapat balance na yung work. It's a government, sa Quezon City government. One day of the year, nag-alat yung government ng isang time na yung mga workers ng government ay hanggang 3 o'clock lang ng hapon yung work nila para meron silang time makipag-dinner sa kanilang mga members of the family. Okay? So, hindi palaging trabaho. So, paano mo to pwedeng gawin itong well-being ng mga empleyado? Yung aking prof sa dati, Dr. Nora Madibiran, meron siyang sariling school, no? Ang ginagawa niya, yung lahat ng kanyang mga teachers doon sa kanyang school, every year, or every year or twice a year na, dinadala niya lahat yung kanyang mga empleyado sa Wensya. You know Wensya? Wensya ay parang isang, what do you call this one? Hindi siya massage parlor eh. Isa isang lugar na you can relax, pamasahe, swimming therapy, tapos maraming pagkain, aromatherapy. Maganda yung lugar na. Parang magre-relax ka dun eh. So may Dr. Nora Madibiran brings her employees doon bawat taon. Lahat empleyado libre niya. Sagot niya. That is a well-being establishment sa may Delta. Para pag nandoon ka, relax ka eh. Kasi ipapamper ka nila. So, pampabawas ng stress, no? Now, siyempre, medyo mahal yan, but you can bring your employees sa ibang lugar. Example, every Friday, dali mo empleyado mo sa videoke bar, or mag-lunch kayo doon, or dali mo sa water spa. Yan. Water spa, mag-therapy sila doon or pamasahe mo sila lahat, di ba? Or bigyan mo silang isang kalahating araw na off, tapos paid para pwedeng mamasyal mga members of the family nila. Ayan, di ba? So, yung bang balance lang yung work tapos yung life, may sariling life sila sabi ko. Delikado pag puro trabaho ka. Okay, next, the third factor that can influence para ma-satisfied yung mga empleyado is the leadership and management style. O mag-democratic style ka para mga empleyado mo yan, masayahan. Yung bang you accept changes. Or pwedeng work environment, di ba? Positive work environment, yung bang talagang may collaboration, binabati lahat, napaka-rude, not rude, napaka-polite ng mga employees, tapos maganda yung may employee lounge, di ba? Flowing coffee, flowing choco, di ba? Ganun mga gandang ang gandang ambience, may employee lounge na pwede tumambay yung empleyado doon, tapos mayroong malaking TV, yan. May chapel sa loob, may gym sa loob, yan. It can satisfy Pero important ang mga manager na magandang ugali ha. Kasi kahit may work-life balance, may recognition, may work environment, tapos ang pangit ng style ng manager, aalis din mga yan. So dapat ang manager ay collaborative, participative, delegational sila, di ba? Coaching style, tapos visionary type ng leaders. So, it can result to job satisfaction, I know. Correlation between job satisfaction and commitment. So, positive correlation to, no? Ibig sabihin ng positive correlation, pag satisfied ng mga empleyado, they will stay. Pag pataas ang satisfaction ng mga empleyado, pataas din ang commitment nila. Kaya, positive correlation between job satisfaction. Satisfied employees are more likely to remain committed. Pag binaliktad mo yan, pag hindi satisfied, pagbaba ang satisfaction, pababa din yung commitment. Okay, so effects on employee retention, mag-aalisan sila pag hindi sila satisfied. But the higher job satisfaction significantly contributes to lower employee turnover. Mas mataas ang satisfaction ng empleyado, mababa ang turnover. Ibig sabihin walang mag-aalisan ng mga empleyado pag ganun. Pero pag hindi sila satisfied, napakataas ng employee turnover. Mag-aalisan mga yan. 3 buwan pa lang mag-aalisan na sila. Pag nakita nilang ang pangit ng ambience, pangit ng leadership, walang recognition, di ba? Ang sahod, hindi masyadong competitive. Mag-aalisan sila. So, ang turnover ay mataas. Okay, job satisfaction, influence on organizational performance. Ang satisfied employees enhance overall organizational performance. Kasi nga, nag-improve yung productivity. Pag satisfied ka, talagang gagawa ka ng maganda para sa company. Masipag ka eh. So pag masipag ka, siyempre, you are productive. So that is more product for the company. More output for the company. Okay, how to improve job satisfaction? Employee engagement initiative. Involve the employees doon sa mga ginagawa ng company. Make them as part of the organization. Iparamdam sa kanila yung mga changes na ginagawa ng company ay kasama sila. So if the company grows, the employees will also grow. Training and development programs. May mga empleyadong they stay kasi ang daming training na libre. Pinapadala sa ibang lugar. Tapos, nag-i-improve yung kanilang skills. Yan, no? Yung kanilang mga target na hindi lang sahod but professional growth sa loob ng company. Tapos, bayad yan ng company. Okay. Pero siyempre, pag bayad ng company yan, siyempre may kapalit yan, di ba? You should stay in the company for like 1 year, no? Pag binayaran nila yan. Kasi siyempre, negosyo yan. May kapalit yung kanilang gastos. Okay, positive work culture. Anong samples ng mga positive work culture? Example, yung may collaboration nga. The boss accepts collaboration. The boss treated employees as part of the company. Parang ginagawa ng Sony, no? Sa Sony, pag boss ka, kasama niyang kumakain yung mga empleyado doon sa canteen ng company. So parang, yung parang the boss feel, ang kultura doon, parang walang inequality, lahat pare-pareho. Walang boss, walang empleyado. That is the culture of Sony. Providing career advancement opportunities, siyempre, pag napopromote. Pangit naman yung 3 taon ka na, 5 taon ka na, hindi ka pa napopromote sa yung work. So, dapat merong advancement. Diba? 10 taon, ka pa rin, clerk ka pa rin. 10 taon, besor ka pa rin. Hindi ka napopromote as manager. O 10 taon, manager ka pa rin, hindi ka napopromote as vice president. Kasi dapat mayroong advancement. The last topic for today, guys, the emotional intelligence. Sa BMC, di ba, total intelligence. Intelligence quotient plus emotional quotient. is total intelligence. Ang intelligence hindi lang yung cognitive na marunong kang magbasa, mag-solve, magsulat. Dapat ano ka rin, emotionally intelligent. So definition of emotional intelligence involves understanding, and managing your emotion effectively. Maraming taong matalino, pero hindi sila emotionally intelligent. Madaling masiraan ng loob. They don't know how to manage their emotions. Matalino, pero madaling magpanik, madaling maapektuhan ng stress ng mga problems. May empleyadong ganon, di ba? Magaling mag-solve. Pero ang kulang sa kanila, pag pressure pack ng mga situations, nahirapan sila. Hindi makapag-function pag ganun. So pag sa emotional intelligence, ayan, you know how to regulate yourself, you know how to discipline yourself, you are aware of yourself, meron kang empathy. Pag sinabi empathy, you should feel what other persons feel. That is empathy, no? Na tinatawag natin. It's importance in personal and professional life nang meron kang EQ or emotional intelligent ka. Emotional intelligence fosters better relationship with the other person. If you know how to interrelate with the other persons, you know how to handle, you know how to understand your co-employees, it can avoid conflict. Ang nangyari kasi minsan nag-aaway kayo, di ba? Tapos mataas ang boses ng kaaway mong office mates mo. Tumataas rin yung boses mo. Pag ganun kasi, ang emotional intelligence mababa. Kasi don't know how to handle a situation. So dapat there should be somebody na marunong mag-give way, marunong mag-yield, marunong mag-slide down. So pag ikaw ay mataas ang emotional intelligence, ikaw na yung taong yun. Avoiding conflict. Pag may ganun, sige, it can improve collaboration sa loob ng isang company, isang conflict resolution sa loob ng isang company. So ito yung mga sample na meron kang emotionally intelligent ka. You are aware of yourself, self-awareness. You recognize your own emotion and emotion of other person. Self-regulation, you know how to discipline yourself. Alam mo kung kailan ka magagalit, alam mo kung kailan ka papatol. And of course, good relation with other person, with the customers, with the employees. And social awareness, understanding other emotions, kapalibot sa'yo, mga suppliers na galit, customers na galit, you have empathy, you understand their feelings para alam mo kung paano ka makipag-interact sa kanila. Enhanced communication, benefits of emotional intelligence, enhanced communication. Okay, if you understand, kung alam mo pakasamahan yung mga taong naiinis, wag ka nang susugod, di ba? Antay mong mawala yung galit nila, and later on, pag sila ay hindi na masyadong galit o malakas ang boses, you can now talk and it enhances communication, di ba? Better conflict resolution, improve leadership skills. So I will let you responsible in reading itong mga to. And the last slide for today, practical strategies, how to improve emotional intelligence. Ano pwedeng gawin? Practice reflective journaling. Isulat mo yung mga things na kinakagalit mo or hindi mo kinakagalit. Role feedback, hingi ka ng feedback sa mga ka-employees mo or classmates. Kung mataas ang boses mo ba or paano improve, or ikaw ba ay masyado ng invasive or masyado ng rude. Yan. So maganda yung mga feedback na honest and mga frank na mga feedback, yung totoong feedback galing sa mga ibang tao. And of course, read and read, continuous learning, read new emotion intelligence resources. We have lots of on-site exercises, di ba, na pwede mong gamitin how to manage your emotion. Kukuha ka ng plato, tapos ang plato ibato mo sa dingding, no? Lahat ng galit mo, ilagay mo dun sa plato. Platong babasagin, ha? Then yung plato yan, ibato mo sa dingding. Para basag lahat ng mga anger mo, bad emotions, no? Basag. That is the last slide, and these are my reference na ginamit ko. And once again, this has been Dr. Cortez signing off. And pa-subscribe naman guys sa aking munting channel. Maraming salamat in advance. And see you around people. Bye everyone.